Legislature and the National Conference of State Legislatures, and consistently wins voters' confidence for her commitment to the environment, education, and a healthy economy. We are fortunate to have her with us today, and so it is my privilege to welcome the Honorable Marilyn Chase.
Thank you all. It is my great pleasure to join you here today on behalf of the state of Washington and to celebrate the grand opening of the new Church of Scientology of Washington State. As a state elected official, it has always been my purpose to represent the values and the views of the citizens. I believe there are values we all look for in one another, like fairness and justice and tolerance and our right to each. I have been a long-time fighter for workers' rights, for women's rights, for education rights. And that's where the Church of Scientology comes into place. As your founder expressed it, human rights must be made a fact, not an idealistic dream. But I want you to know that I am on board to do just that by making human rights a fact. Tell stories, and I was first introduced to your human rights education material several years ago by two of your staff, one of whom I knew from the Shoreline Chamber of Commerce, and she and the church volunteers have always been very active in our charity efforts and our fundraising for shoreline communities. So it came as no surprise to me whatsoever when I ran across your members volunteering once again at the Shoreline Annual Festival and Parade. You had a booth there, and it was presenting the Youth for Human Rights materials to the visitors. And let me say that I was blown away by what you had to offer there that day.
Honorable Richard Sanders.
Thank you very much. It's truly a privilege and an honor to join you today. I know the Church of Scientology has many endeavors in Washington and around the world, but I'm here to talk to you about your work promoting basic civil liberties and to thank you for that work. You know, in my work as a justice on the Washington State Supreme Court, I see a multitude of cases where people's civil liberties are violated. But my connection with the Church of Scientology goes back long before I was on the state Supreme Court, back almost 35 years ago, when I received a call from the director of the Citizens Commission for Human Rights telling me that CCHR had provided refuge to a woman who had fled from state-sponsored attempts to involuntarily imprison her in a mental hospital. She needed a lawyer. CCHR encouraged me to come aboard, promised me help and support, and talked me into doing this for free. That's how effective they are. CCHR armed me with evidence that psychiatrists could no more accurately predict future acts of violence than they could by flipping a coin. I fought that case all the way to the state Supreme Court. And as a result, due to their vigorous help, we won a victory. The state Supreme Court invalidated part of the Involuntary Commitment Act as unconstitutional. And in so doing, it was a victory for all the people of the state of Washington. to protect their civil liberties, to restore their humanity and their freedom. I have often challenged attorneys and my fellow judges to ask themselves, when faced with cases of cruelty and injustice, what's more important, giving in when you know you're right, or standing up for something even if you have to stand alone? I challenge them to ask themselves, what makes a person truly free and what makes life worth living? I know that when it comes to the Church of Scientology and the Citizens Commission on Human Rights, you have already answered these questions. There is nothing more important in life than being true to yourself and standing up for what you believe. That is freedom, and that's what makes life worth living.